Have you ever heard of someone getting arrested for, feeding pigeons? Or maybe for singing too loudly in public? No, this isn't the setup for a bad joke. It's real life, my friend. And trust me, as a police dog with years on the beat, I've seen enough bizarre arrests to make you question whether Earth is secretly one big comedy show and we're all just background actors. Welcome to Detective Rex Legal Files. I'm your host, Detective Rex, half dog, half law enforcer, and 100% confused at how humans manage to get themselves arrested for things that sound like rejected sitcom scripts. Grab your snacks, sit tight, and let's sniff out some of the weirdest arrests in American history. Now let's start strong. Imagine you're in Florida, because of course this story begins in Florida. A man gets arrested for throwing an alligator through a drive-thru window. Yes, an actual live alligator, not a stuffed toy, not a video game character, an honest-to-goodness reptile. Apparently the guy thought it would be funny to surprise the fast food worker with a scaly, happy meal. The police did not find it funny, neither did the alligator. And guess who had to help wrangle the poor creature? Yep, yours truly. Nothing like trying to read a suspect his rights while dodging a tail whip. Speaking of animals, let's sniff out another case. In Ohio, a man was arrested for calling 911 because his parents had cut off his cell phone service. He dialed emergency services multiple times, insisting it was his constitutional right to have unlimited data. Look, buddy, I might be a dog, but even I know the Founding Fathers didn't draft the Bill of Rights with unlimited texting and 5G coverage in mind. The officers charged him with misusing 911. Imagine being in jail and your cellmate asks, "So what are you in for?" And you have to say, my phone plan expired, ouch. But humans don't stop there. Oh no. In South Carolina, a woman was arrested for, not returning a VHS tape. Yes, a VHS tape. For the young pups watching, that's like a giant plastic rectangle humans used to watch movies before Netflix blessed your species. The movie was Monster-in-Law, starring Jennifer Lopez. She rented it, forgot about it, and 10 years later, boom, a warrant pops up and she's arrested. Imagine explaining to your kids, Mommy's in jail because she really, really loves J-Lo. Now let's talk about a guy in Arizona who took hangry to a new level. He got arrested for attacking a Taco Bell employee with a taco. Yes, a soft shell taco used as a weapon. According to reports, he threw it with great passion, like a tortilla torpedo, leaving lettuce and cheese scattered like confetti at a sad parade. Police charged him with assault. I mean, talk about adding extra spice to your criminal record. And then there's the Wisconsin man who tried to pay his bar tab with a rock. Yes, a rock. He slammed it down and insisted it was legal tender because rocks are from the earth, man. Now, I may have paused, but even I know you can't buy beer with gravel. The bartender called the police, and he ended up spending the night in jail. I guess the moral of the story is, when life gives you rocks, don't try to buy tequila. Here's one that still makes my tail wag with disbelief. In Michigan, a man was arrested for, get this, failing to return overdue library books. Yep, the Dewey Decimal System came for him. He had checked out a couple of books years earlier, ignored the fines, and eventually the library pressed charges. So yes, he ended up in cuffs over the hungry caterpillar, and people wonder why kids don't want to read anymore. And finally, let's head back to the Sunshine State, because Florida never disappoints. A woman was arrested for assault after throwing a burrito at her boyfriend during an argument. Police noted that beans, rice, and guacamole were spread across the victim's face and shirt. As an officer on the scene, let me tell you, it was the first time I had to collect burrito evidence. My training did not prepare me for labeling sour cream as Exhibit A. So what's the deal here? Why do humans keep getting cuffed for these ridiculous things? Is it boredom, poor decision-making, or just proof that reality is stranger than any TV show? Well, don't wander off yet, because in the next part, we're diving even deeper into the legal twilight zone, where humans prove that yes, you can indeed get arrested for the weirdest, most jaw-dropping reasons imaginable. All right, buckle up, humans, because if you thought throwing alligators and overdue VHS tapes were weird, oh, we're just scratching the surface. You see, I may have a badge and 4 paws, but I also have access to some of the strangest arrest reports in American history. And trust me, the further we dig, the more I wonder if some of you secretly want to be arrested just to make it onto a top 10 dumbest criminals list. Take, for example, the man in Kentucky who was arrested for impersonating a ghost. Yes, he was haunting people in a graveyard, moaning and flapping his arms, until police showed up and said, "Boo, you're under arrest." And while that may sound funny, the charge was actually public disturbance. I mean, come on, if you're going to pretend to be a ghost, at least commit to it. Put on a sheet, maybe throw in some chains. Don't half bark it, you know? Or how about the guy in Texas who stole a car and then tried to sell it back to the original owner, smooth move genius? He was caught almost immediately because apparently people tend to recognize their own vehicles. This guy's criminal mastermind plan lasted less than an hour. And honestly, that's less time than it takes me to chew through a squeaky toy. Speaking of squeaky, let's move to California. A man was arrested for stealing a ring from a jewelry store and then proposing to his girlfriend with it later that day. The police tracked him down easily because he literally posted the engagement photos online. Now, I'm not saying love makes you blind, but in this case, it made him very, very easy to catch. And then there's the man in New York who tried to rob a bank using nothing but a piece of paper with "Give me money" scribbled on it. But here's the kicker. He handed the note to a teller at a different bank across the street from the one he thought he was robbing. Wrong bank, wrong crime. That's what happens when you don't do your homework, kids. Oh, but humans never stop surprising me. In Florida, yes, again, Florida, a man was arrested for aggressively practicing karate on swans at a park. Witnesses said he was kicking and punching the birds like they were in some sort of feathery dojo. Police charged him with animal cruelty. Look, I'm a dog. I love chasing birds. But even I know you don't try to spar with a swan. Those things are meaner than any criminal I've chased. Here's one from Illinois. A man was arrested for trying to fight his own reflection in a store window. He punched it repeatedly, shouted insults, and when police arrived, he claimed the other guy started it. Buddy, if you're losing a fight to a mirror, jail might actually be the safest place for you. You. But let's not forget the classics. A man in Colorado got arrested for climbing into a zoo enclosure and yelling at the lions to fight him like a man. Spoiler alert, they didn't, but the police did. They dragged him out, and he spent the night in jail, nursing both his bruised ego and his bad decision-making skills. And finally, the cherry on top. In Pennsylvania, a man was arrested for calling 911 to complain that his sandwich didn't have enough lettuce. Yes, this was his emergency, not a fire, not a burglary, not a car crash, just a lack of lettuce. Officers politely explained that the 911 system is not a customer service hotline for your hoagie. He disagreed. He went to jail. So what have we learned today, humans? We've learned that while America prides itself on freedom, creativity, and innovation, some of you take those ideas and channel them straight into the "what were you thinking" Hall of Fame. From tacos to ghosts to swan karate, the list goes on. But hey, that's why I, Detective Rex, am here to dig through the nonsense, sniff out the truth, and remind you that yes, you can get arrested for the weirdest things imaginable. Stay out of trouble, don't throw burritos, and for the love of paws, don't practice kung fu on birds. This is Detective Rex signing off, but before I go, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with a friend who would definitely get arrested for fighting their own reflection. And stay tuned, because in the next episode, we're diving into the strangest lawsuits ever filed in America. Trust me, you won't believe what humans sue each other over. Until then, stay positive, stay out of jail, and remember, don't make me come sniffing after you.